Hello, everyone. Welcome to Brockport 101, Supporting Students of Color. My name is Lahenzel Lamore. I use pronouns she, her, hers, and I'm currently a senior studying healthcare admin, and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Whoop, whoop, Brooklyn. I'll be your moderator for today's session. With me, I have a lovely group of OLs who will introduce themselves. But before they do that, I want to set some expectations for the session. Myself and my fellow OLs will answer all the questions that come through the chat. However, I want to remind everyone that during the changing world of COVID-19, we cannot provide more information than what has already been shared via the governor's office. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to start with going in some kind of order. We'll start with Serenity. So let's do that.
Oh, Serenity, it looks like you're muted. Sorry about that. It was so enthusiastic, though. Oh, I think you're still muted. There you go.
We're back. Okay. Hi, my name is Serenity. I'm a senior. I have a double major in communications and sociology. I go by she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm from Rochester. And I chose Brockport because it was close to home.
Next is Osameke.
Hi everyone, my name is Osameke. My pronouns are he, him, his. My major is biology. My hometown is Queens, New York. And I chose Brockport because after a couple of visits, I really liked the community and the environment and the campus. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Osameke. Next we have Giovanni.
Giovanni Figueroa. My pronouns are he, him, his. I am a communications major with a minor in public relations. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. And I literally chose Brockport because, again, it's the farthest thing from home.
And last but definitely not least, we have Javiana.
Hey folks, my name is Javiana. I go by she, her, hers. I am a double major in African American Studies and Business Administration. I am from Rochester, New York. And differently from Giovanni, I chose Brockport because it's close enough to home, whereas I can have my own life. I mean, I can go visit home, but I live on campus, so I can still have my own life on campus.
Nice, thank you, Javiana. Hold on. There I am. I have yet to mention why I chose Brockport. I chose Brockport because it just happened. It ended up being a perfect school for me. I didn't know my parameters were so small, but I was looking for a medium to small size school that was far from home, that also had a nursing program. Yeah. And so it just ended up being Brockport. It was also a SUNY school because I wanted to stay within the state. So yeah. Let's see. Do we have any questions in the chat? Ooh, so our first question is, how was the transition between high school and college for you? My transition was, I thought was smooth, but it wasn't. It was smooth in terms of getting into the workflow. It was kind of rough getting into the life balance flow. It just ended up being like, I was doing too much work and then not enough play, and then too much play and not enough work. So would anyone else like to answer the question? Let's see here. Okay, we have Javiana. And go.
So for me, the transition from high school to college was a little rough, whereas I thought high school was so easy, so I thought college was going to be a breeze. And this newfound independence that I had was like difficult to alter because I didn't have anyone like telling me that I had assignments to do, and I didn't have anyone on my back like my mom was telling me that I need to study. So I really had to learn how to balance my schoolwork, but also learn how to balance like making friends, and like I'm very involved, so I had to learn how to balance like all the different things I was a part of. So yeah, it was difficult, but now going into my junior year, I can say that it is a lot easier.
Nice. Thank you, Javiana. And now we have Giovanni.
Um, kind of same as Javiana. So I just couldn't get like my workflow down right, just because I was too much invested in my freedom. It's like I wouldn't have anybody on my back really. So it's like, oh, I got all this free time. I'm not gonna study. I'm gonna go do what I want. But then once you get into the semester and get used to things, you start picking up how to study habits and how you work as a person and how you study, and you usually get the hang of it. So
Nice. Thank you. Let's see. I have a few questions here pulled up myself. What was your guys' biggest, well, you guys, y'all, what were y'all biggest support system on campus? Mine were my friends. I made friends pretty easily, which I didn't think I would, but it was kind of because we lived close. Kind of mandatory, but it's fine. They were my biggest support system. If I needed anything, I could go to them. If I was having any trouble, I can go to them. So yeah, they were my biggest support system. Maybe I relied on them a little too much, but I truly enjoyed them. Okay, so next we have Giovanni.
wait, man. um, uh, but definitely having a support system was big. I didn't really like. I was like an introvert, so I didn't really have like a big support system because I really wasn't out there as much because I was more to myself. But putting yourself out there is definitely the best thing to do. Uh, to getting support system, seeking help is always the best because people can't know if you need help or not if you don't go out there and tell them. So yeah, that's that.
Thank you, Giovanni. Next we have Javiana.
I would say this is like such a cliche answer, but my biggest support system was one of my OLs who had happened to be my best friend's RA. So we all got pretty close, and like him being a person of color, a man of color, and like my friends being people of color, it really like helped us motivate ourselves and each other because we all like came while they were from the city and I'm from upstate. We had that debate a lot, but and we really like found that we were very similar and our struggles were very similar. So like being around them and being around him like really helped to motivate me and like really strive to get through my first year because it was rough.
Thank you, Javiana. And next we have Osameke.
For me, my support system was kind of being an EOP student. We had like a month in the summertime to get acclimated into the Brockport environment, and it was just kind of like a month for us to kind of get used to campus and everything. And the support system was basically the people you met in the EOP program, the people who who are from the city, from downstate, just like I am, people you have commonalities with. And also, we had an advisor, a separate EOP advisor for us, who you can go and talk to about classes and different things like that. So that's what my support system was. It made things a lot easier transitioning.
Thank you, Osa. Our next question, oh, here we go. Our next question is, how did you get involved when you came to campus? Let's see. Oh, we will go straight to Javiana. I couldn't think of an answer yet.
So in the beginning of in the beginning of each semester, there's a big like event called Club Craze where all the different clubs on campus, we have like a ton of clubs. There's literally a club for anything, and if there's not a club there, you can make one. Like it's really crazy. But Club Craze, I went and like I signed up for a bunch of different clubs. While I didn't join every club that I like signed up for, I really found like my home was club volleyball. Um, because I played volleyball in high school and I wanted to continue that. And I also, like, through having my orientation leader be my friend's RA, like, I was really I was really interested in becoming an orientation leader. So, and I was interested in becoming an RA. So I feel like being an RA and being an orientation leader is really what got me involved in like leadership positions on campus. So I joined LDP, which is leadership development program, so I could become a better leader and learn about my leadership style. So I mean, like, I feel like everything really intertwined in how I got involved on campus. So yeah.
Thank you, Javiana. Next we have Serenity.
Yes, so like Javiana, I'm very involved in how it happened. It's kind of like one thing led to another. So I started off, I'm like, oh my God, there's so many things at Club Craze. And I would go to a bunch of clubs, different things. And then I joined like club cheerleading. Then I met like a couple of friends. And then I decided like, hey, I wanted to start my own club with me and like 6 of my other friends. And so that from there, I'm like, well, I really like leadership positions. So then I became an admissions ambassador, and then an RA, and then here I am as an orientation leader. So I feel like that's really the key. Once you start getting involved, it's kind of hard not to be involved, because then so many different doors open for you, like every time you, I guess, try new things. So that's how I got involved.
Thank you, Serenity. Next we have Osa.
I would say about being involved on campus, not everyone has like the same personality when it comes to wanting to get out there. So I would say, even if you're not the kind of person to say, okay, I'm gonna sign up for every single club I might be interested in Club Craze, when you go, you should still go, but you can just work up to it. Maybe just go out to a BSG event, or you can just apply for a job or something and then ease into it a bit, and just meet new people on campus through that. And like for the people who are like a little bit more closed off and don't want to just hop into everything on campus, because there is a lot and it could be overwhelming. So that's just what I would say about that.
Thank you, Osa. And next we have Giovanni.
I got involved on campus like through events, and I kept on going to this one club's event, Men of Colors, and I thought they were a really cool club at first. So that following year, I signed up to be a part of it, and that's how I really got involved into Men of Color. I actually became the treasurer of Men of Color, and I've been with it ever since. And it's just been like a great way to get to know people and getting involved, and it's great just to be around people who are like you. Like in general. So that's like one of the ways I became involved.
Thank you, Giovanni. Let's see, let's go back to me. Okay, so I found my answer. Thanks to Osa, actually. I agree with Osa. It's not always about you. It doesn't always have to be about you putting yourself out there. Somehow, some way you can get involved by knowing people, by having friends who are very much about getting involved, and then you just end up following them, and then boom, you're in an a cappella club. That's what happened to me my freshman year. I sang in high school, maybe. It wasn't good, it was part of a chorus. It was a group of people. Okay? My voice was drowned out by everyone else. But I didn't want to sing with no music by myself with a group of people. But then somehow, some way, I ended up in an a cappella club, and then we ended up performing a lot of places on campus, and then boom, suddenly I'm involved, and suddenly everyone knows me, and they know that I can kind of sing. Not really, I don't know, but you don't have to really. Don't always think that you have to put your best foot out there. Sometimes you just have to let people know. Sometimes it's just your intentions. If you tell someone, like one of your friends, hey, I think I might be interested, they might just drag you in there. It happens to the best of us, the worst of us. But yeah. My next question that I see here, that I kind of have is, how did you find your community at a PWI? So for me personally, I met most of my friends are student of color, and I met them during orientation, and since then we've been best friends, and then we lived together as well. So it was definitely easier to make my friends, but once I made my set group of friends, I felt more comfortable branching out to other diversity groups, just because I know that I needed a home base kind of, because that's what I was used to back home. So like I wanted to create a kind of home base at Brockport, and then that's when I felt more comfortable to reach out. So next we have Javiana. And boop.
All right. Hey, so for anyone who doesn't know, what PWI stands for Predominantly White Institution. And so I think finding that community at Brockport, it really requires you to put yourself out there. I would say, like, don't stay in your dorm room. I'm not the type of person to stay in my dorm room, but I have found other people who, like, they tell me they didn't enjoy, like, their first year or something. And I'm like, so what did you, like, get involved with? What did you do? And they're like, I wasn't really involved with anything. I didn't really do anything. I was in my dorm room. So that's one thing I would say, like, to find your community, you can't just stay in your room. Like, you have to put yourself out there. But also, it's about the people you know, I would say. Because Brockport, like, they have so many opportunities for you. We have so many cultural clubs. Like, it's really crazy, like, how many different cultural clubs we have for students of color. And so, like, I wouldn't say it's easy to find your community, but it requires effort, but it's definitely doable.
Thank you, Javiana. And next we have Osa.
What I'll say about that is, first of all, I agree with what Lahenza and Javiana said. What I want to add on to what Lahenza said, I'm sorry, that about the home base, that's very important, because I feel like I can also, I don't know the word, but I can agree with it. And then what Javiana said also is like, I can speak from a different perspective, kind of, because being an EOP student, coming from downstate, when you spend that summer at Brockport, what you notice is kind of like all of you guys are in the same boat, all of the people in EOP, because you guys may be the same, half the same background, the same nationality, and you guys are also maybe be from downstate. So that was my home base, just speaking from my perspective. And then from there you can branch out, because from there you have like the home base, like I said, and then you can branch out to other groups, and then you join clubs, and then it just works like that. So sorry for kind of being all over the place with that one, but that's what I would say from my perspective.
Thank you, Osa. And next we have Serenity.
Yeah, when it comes to finding like my community, my home base, I'd really have to just give it to like all the clubs at school, because I think that's really how I found my community. I started off, I'm like, there's a CSA, Caribbean Student Association, going to the meetings for that. And then I feel like I really found like solace in when I created Women of Color Empowerment. And that's when I found like my people, like not only were we friends, but we also were like-minded, went through the same different things. And like, I think that's really where I found my home. And I think it's really important to have like a good support system that understands the things that you go through, and then also like branching out into other groups and things like that. So I think that's really, that's one way, I guess, of finding your home base.
Nice, thank you, Serenity. And next we have Giovanni.
Yeah, finding like your home base, so to speak. It's you definitely have to put yourself out there, because when you put yourself out there, you're gonna find what you're looking for. And when I put myself out there, I found myself going to clubs that might look different for everybody. That might be with a job or some other events on campus, but it's definitely important that you put yourself out there, because when I did, I found the people I was looking for, the people who look like me, the people going through the same experiences. And that's very important to have in college, so you have other people to relate to and other people, to be friends with.
Awesome. Thanks, Giovanni. The next question we have here is, do you have a mentor on campus at Brockport? How did you find that mentor? So I don't have a mentor, or at least I don't think I do. Yeah, no, I don't have a mentor. I've been trying to look for one. someone who is part of the, at least someone who looks like me or someone who's part of my department. I've yet to find someone like that. So I'm still on the journey. Even as a senior, it's hard to find a mentor, but yeah, that's me. I'm still looking here. Next, we'll go to Javiana.
Okay, so for me, finding my mentor, like I said, getting involved, I would say my mentor is our lovely Catherine Warren. I've worked with her for this my second summer with her, and it's just like there's so much room to grow during orientation, and it's like it's I don't know how to describe it. It's just like she supports people in a way where like I've never been, other than my parents and other than my family, like I've never been supported in that way. But also, if we're talking about a mentor that looks like me, Regina Willis, she is a advisor in the business department, but she's also one of the very few people of color instructors that work at Brockport. And so I thought I made it a point to get close with her, and I make not even form like a form of friendship with her and form a mentorship with her, because it's like that's a woman who's doing what I want to do. And so like those are my two mentors.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, we're seeing, I'll have Osa answer for now, and then I'll try to see what I can do here.
For my mentor, okay, sorry. I don't necessarily have like a distinct like mentor on campus, but I like use many different resources on campus to kind of, if I have a question about something, or if I have a question about something, especially like in my major or just anything in general, I have an like I keep bringing this up, but I have an EOP advisor who I go to for academic help, and I go to my biology major advisor. There's a lot of people from men of color who I know through EOP who I can go to for different help with different things in different situations. But overall, it's just a lot of different resources on campus I can get help from. So I don't have one distinct mentor, but there's a lot of ways you can get a mentor. So that's what I'll say.
Thank you, Osa. And next we have Serenity.
Yeah, like Osa, I wouldn't say that I have like a distinct mentor, but there are a few like faculty members that I look up to. One of them being my club's advisor, Karen Pashadli. She's just like amazing, and I can just like spend all the time I can in her office just advising me on like life or like academic, all kinds of things. Another person who I really look up to is in the communications department, aka the best department on campus, but whatever. Helen Cheeves, she is amazing. I just love her. Those are just like, to name a couple, really amazing women of color who I look up to and I go to for advice on life, school, whatever. And I think that's important when coming to school, to find solace not only in your student body, but also in your faculty members.
Thank you, Serenity. And next we have Giovanni.
Well, I have two mentors personally. One mentor that I met through one of my Gen Ed classes, Dr. Turner. He's head of he teaches African American Studies, and basically from day one, just like being in his class, like he pushed me to be better, and I felt like that's something that was missing from my college experience. So like I went to his office hours, and like he became my mentor so much to the fact that I actually pushed for him to be the advisor of my club, and he is now. So that's one of them. And another one is, like Javiana said, Gina Willis. Yeah. I met her through the club, through one of my other clubs, the Club of Chess, and she's just been great. Like she's been she advises me in like my life, and like I just feel like I can come to her with any personal issue, like whether it be like me personally or like financial aid or like whatever. She finds a way to help me. So those are like the two mentors I really have on campus.
Thank you, Giovanni. We have a question here that says, can you talk about what it's like on campus, specifically with everything that went down last semester regarding diversity? So we have Daviana on the mic.
So obviously, Brockport isn't the perfect campus. I don't think any campus is like the perfect campus. Everyone has their issues, but I will say there are people on campus who care about us and who are there to support us. And a lot of people who don't look like me support people of color, which was really it was eye opening for me because I came from a predominantly white private school. So I didn't really that's not what I was typically used to. But when we had the town halls, when we had the meetings with the president, and maybe not everyone felt like they had their voice heard, but I feel like the allies that we have on campus and the people who really care about us came and stuck up for people of color. And I feel like it made Brockport students come together more, if that makes sense. It made us come together for a collective cause. And with everything that's going on specifically right now, I think that just needs to be continued going into the fall semester. And the progress that we have made, I feel like that as long as we stay as a collective unit and we stay I don't know, Brockport it's a very liberal college, so I won't say it's horrible, but it definitely has a lot of work to do.
Thank you so much. And next we have Osa.
Definitely like how Javiana said, it's not a perfect campus. And I'm not sure how many colleges are perfect in that sense, but one thing that I noticed on campus when all of those kind of things were going on is that there was a lot of allies, a lot of people looking to get informed, and a lot of people who were there for me, no matter the color of their skin. Like for example, one of my advisors, who was actually a white female, checked up on me and told me, with everything going on campus, how are you feeling? Are you comfortable? How is everything going? So things like that. That's just an example. It just shows even though things were going on campus, there were a lot of people there who supported. Students of color, who supported me individually, and that just shows to me the type of community Brockport is and can be as far as getting better. So yeah.
Thank you, Osa. Okay, so we'll move on to the next question, which is the town of Brockport a welcoming place? Oh, sorry, Osa. I'll send that back to me. I haven't explored the village as much. We'll walk to Jimmy Z's, but I don't know, just being personally being from the city, it's as welcoming as it can get. I mean, people say hi. I don't know if that's something that you think is welcoming, but for me, I think that's welcoming because people in the city don't say hi to you just for no damn reason. So if somebody's on the street and they just I don't know, I think that's just showing good intention, and I think that's welcoming. So let us see. Next, we have, I'll go with Serenity.
Hey guys. Okay. So, funny story. Well, not really a funny story. Anyways, when I first came to Brockport, I'm kind of confused. I'm oh my God, I'm not sure how this different setting is going to be. Are people going to be friendly? Are people going to give me weird looks? But when I got there, people were pretty nice and friendly. And I've never personally had any issues or any in my face aggressive kind of things happen. So from my perspective, I think that it's pretty welcoming so far. I still have another year, so we'll see. But that's just like my take on it, I guess.
Thank you, Serenity. And next we have Osa. Wow, that was.
To keep it short, from my personal experience, it's very, very welcoming. Um, Obviously, it depends on your like what happens with you. And it, like, because obviously not everybody's gonna have the same exact experiences, but from my experience, I can keep it short and say it's very welcoming.
Thank you. And next we have Javiana. Bam.
Brockport is really like a college town. Like it has everything that we might need as college students. Like it has a Walmart, it has a lot of fast food restaurants, it has a lot of banks, which I don't understand, but okay. And so I would say Brockport is pretty welcoming. I haven't had a bad experience in Brockport. I mean, it's also a like school district, so it's like the high school, the middle school, and different elementary schools are all within like a 10-mile radius, I would say. So it's like, it's very like family friendly. They're welcoming towards college students. But what I will say about Brockport is like outside of Brockport, it's fields. And the next big town is Greece, which is where I live. And that's like a 25-minute drive. So like Brockport has what we need, but like if you want to travel outside of Brockport, you're gonna go through fields.
Thank you, Javiana. And next we have Giovanni.
Sorry, I was muted. I've never personally really had bad experiences with the College of Brockport either. Every time like I've walked through the town, it's been great. People say hi to me. They've been honestly friendly, even like through all times throughout the night. Like I've walked through the village at like 2 o'clock in the morning, had no problems. Saw other people walking. They said, "Hey, how you doing?" And they're really welcoming people. So it's honestly a pretty welcoming town from my perspective.
Thank you, Giovanni. Okay, the next question we have here is, are there any student advocacy groups? So just me, I was the treasurer. Yes, sorry. I was the treasurer of a student advocacy group on campus called The Movement, in which we dealt with a lot. We did a lot of educating and just making people aware of like what their biases could be, how to notice biases, how to not be a bystander, and stuff like that. So, I mean, the movement is still there. I'm just no longer the treasurer because now I'm a senior. Life is just too busy. So we'll go with Serenity next.
Okay. Yeah, like the movement's a great advocacy group. Men of color, women of color empowerment, things like that. There's tons of different groups that like advocate for students of color, people of color. So I guess that answers that. That's it. That's the tweet, guys. Sorry, I'll just mute myself. I'm corny.
Thank you, Serenity. Next we have Javiana.
So I will say, like Serenity said, we do have a lot of cultural clubs, but I will talk about the student accessibility services, and that's located in the Brown building, and I feel like that's a great resource for students with varying abilities. Like I go to they give me, like, I have like doctor's notes, so I can have different like things that I can get, different papers that I can give to my professors. So I definitely think that that's a great great resource to talk about for students who may not know about it coming in, because I didn't know about it when I came in. My mom was like, thank God for my mom, because I wouldn't know about half of the things that when coming into Brockport. So yeah, student accessibility services located in Brown building.
Thank you, Javiana. And next we have Osa. Wow.
Like everyone said, there's plenty of resources are in Brockport for advocacy, but I just wanted to share like an experience like of something that I went to on campus that showed that. I remember my freshman year, there was a thing. I don't want to call it a thing, but there was like a meeting in the union between students and police on campus, and basically any student who had a issue with police on campus can come in and just voice their opinions and just talk face to face with the police on campus. Now, does it always work for the person? Maybe they may not have got what they wanted out of it, but it was definitely, there are definitely resources just like that, which is something I could share, that people had the voice to say, hey, I didn't, you guys did this to me, or I don't like how you guys do this. And then the police on campus were able to sit there and hear the voices of the campus and say, and then and respond to it and just listen to it. So that's just something I want to share.
Nice, thank you. And then next we have Giovanni.
For student advocacy, there are great clubs for that. There are great events for that. But like one thing I really want to touch on that's like really been recent was there's recently like the school put together a student advocacy group to talk about like the problems because of what happened during last semester, and they got all students and including people of color to really talk about the problems here on campus and what they could do better and what they can fix. And like that's one like the more recent student advocacy groups that I've seen on campus, and definitely one of the definitely one to note. So, but other than that, there are clubs like Men of Color, Women of Color, the movement, and stuff like that.
Sorry, thank you, Giovanni. Our next question here is, oh, am I muted? Let's see. Oh, I think I'm good. Okay. My next question here is, did you live on campus? Should I join an LLC? I lived on campus my entire career, my entire college lifespan thing, I guess. I've lived in an LLC for my freshman year, and then my junior year I was an RA, so I kind of chose that. I also chose the LLC for my freshman year. I was in the Nursing Intent LLC back when I was a nursing major. That was fun. I personally encourage LLCs, especially as an incoming freshman. I think it's an easier way to make friends because you kind of live with your friends and you are surrounded by people who are interested in the same things as you. So like they have LLCs based on majors. So like nursing and honors and Delta and stuff like that. Well, that's not really a major, but like based on like academic things. And then they have LLCs based on, rec and fitness, greenhouse. Like if you're interested in sports and exercise, obviously I'm not, you can tell. But if you're interested in like saving the planet, if you're interested in like dance and art and stuff like that. So they have different kinds of LLCs. So I would say I would recommend it if you vibe with an LLC. I don't like that word, but if you do vibe, because we vibe in. If you vibe with that LLC, then pop in that LLC. So next, I'm just gonna go down the line here. We have Serenity.
Yeah, so for me, I've lived on campus the whole time, and people are always like, oh, you live in Rochester, like, why are you on campus? Because campus is fun, you're always around your friends, there's unlimited food, but like really, I like campus a lot, and I think you always get the best like college experience, you get the whole experience just living on campus and really like being able to immerse yourself in all these things. And if I didn't live on campus and I commuted it, I think that my college experience would be so different and I wouldn't be as involved as I am. When it comes to LLCs, I personally have never been in an LLC. When I was a freshman, I was in a math and science one. Not sure how that happened, but but from what I do see, I think LLCs are really cool, and the people that you're put with, they're like people who have similar interests, people who have the same major and things like that. So I think it's really important to kind of be amongst people that you can like lean on and like find that support system again. So yes, I think you should be in an LLC.
Thank you, Serenity. And next we have Osa. Wow.
Yeah, I lived on campus my first 2 years, and I plan on to continuing to live on campus, just because I feel like Serenity said, you get Serenity and some other said, I don't want to leave anybody out, but you do get the full college experience, and I like the fact that you're close to most of the resource buildings, libraries. Last semester I lived in Eagle Hall, and I was like literally like 3 5 minutes away walk from the library. So anytime maybe I had to print something late at night, I can just go to the library and get it. And I just think it's very like it's just very efficient and helpful. As far as LLCs, like I'm kind of in a similar boat as Serenity because I haven't really been in one, but from what I hear, it sounds like a great opportunity. And if you have a chance, you should get involved.
Thank you, Osa. And next we have Javiana. Wow.
So, like everyone else has said, I was on campus my whole college experience. And like Serenity said, like everyone's like, you live in Rochester, why do you live on campus? You get that college experience living on campus, and I did not want to live with my mom. But so I lived in an LLC my freshman year specifically because I'm in the honors college, and that's a requirement of honors college. So I lived in the honors LLC. You don't have to live in the honors LLC to be in honors college. You can live in any LLC. You just have to live in an LLC. And I will say the benefits of living in the honors LLC, a lot of the people I lived with, the people on my floor were in many of my classes. So I think that's a great benefit to living in an LLC because the people that you live with are in your classes and you also share the same interests as the people that you live with. There's like a rec and fitness LLC, and like a lot of people like to work out, or a lot of the people who were like on the football team or on the sports teams live in the rec and fitness LLC. And a lot of the programs that the RAs, I'm an RA as well, and I was the business LLC RA. So I put on like a lot of business themed programs because like a lot of the people who lived in my floor on my floor were business majors or business related majors. And so that's another benefit of being in an LLC because the programs are more tailored towards your interests. And so, yeah, go LLCs.
Thank you. And next we have Giovanni.
I can speak a little bit to living off campus because I kind of did. But first, I've lived on campus for the past 2 years. It's been great. Everything's accessible. Everything's cool. You get to hang out with your friends. You live on the same floor. But living off campus is definitely has its perks too. If you just want to be more independent, more by yourself, getting prepared to like go out in the real world and like really just be by yourself and see what you could do. It's also cheaper. I can't really speak on LLCs because I haven't really done them. I really haven't tried to go into them because they weren't really my cup of tea. But yeah, I would definitely say like living on campus definitely has its benefits, but living off campus definitely has its own benefits as well.
Awesome. Thank you, Giovanni. Our next question here is, do you have recommendations for student clubs / organizations and events for students to check out? My favorite event every year has been Eagle Day. I think it's Eagle Day. It happens in like spring semester, and there's like a big bunch of food trucks and just a bunch of food and little activities. I think it's the best only because the one year I was first in line and I felt so great because I was first in line. We got there like 10 o'clock. It definitely started at 12, but it's all right because you know what? We were first in line. Our picture is now on the Brockport Instagram forever. Well, as long as they keep it up. And so that was my favorite event. I love going to Eagle Day, especially because Jimmy Z's comes. Jimmy Z's Yeah, and they have awesome mozzarella sticks, especially for free. They're great when you buy them, but they're even better when they're free. So I will shoot this over to Javiana.
I feel like every club has like a great event. Like it seems like every day there's something to do on campus. And I know like the cultural clubs have a lot of like on the weekends they have like the really cool events, little parties. They're not really parties, but they're parties. And so I will say definitely if you're a person of color, even if you aren't a person of color, you can still get involved with the cultural clubs on campus. But my favorite event, RIP to Eagle Day, because I don't know how that's going to look with COVID and I don't think there's going to be any real events and the events are going to be virtual. So that's kind of sucky. But my favorite event was rock and roll. So it's like Brockport would like rent out we would have like the ballroom and we would go roller skating, and I can't roller skate, but it was really fun to fall with my friends and like get free food. And like I would say every event at Brockport has free food, so that's why I go to events and get free t-shirts. I have too many t-shirts, and yeah, so just go to the events because you have nothing better to do.
Thank you so much. And next we have Serenity.
Yeah, like Javiana said, unfortunately for the incoming freshmen, events are like very iffy because Miss Rona is having her world tour. But good thing is you have 3 more years where you can experience all these great things. When it comes to clubs and recommendations, honestly, it's all up to the things that you're into, the things that you want to do. And we have like 133 student-run organizations and clubs. So of course, like Men of Color, Women of Color Empowerment, OSAT, CSA. There's so many different like culture clubs, and then there's also like service council clubs as well. There's just like a lot of clubs. So what I recommend are just like anything that you're into. But with the events, let me tell you, homecoming, Eagle Day, rock and roll, the free ice skating, so many good gems. But what I personally do like are all the fashion shows that are put on by like Walk Your Way Fashion Club and ASU. So hopefully you get to experience those at some point in your college career.
Thank you, Serenity. And next we have Osa.
Yeah, similar to what everyone said, like there are so many clubs, so you can literally just start with what you think you'll be into, and then there's probably like 5 clubs like about that. But I wanted to speak more to the events. There's so much events if you just like look for them. There's the BSG events. I remember there was one BSG event where they made a whole room in the Union to like an arcade or something, like where they just brought in a lot of mini games and things like that. I know ASU throws like a lot of events that are like very like everyone knows about them. There's also an event, I don't know who ran this event, but there was also an ice skating thing I went to before. There's just like so many events. Eagle Day, like there's so many events. Like everyone said, obviously due to the circumstances, maybe not as much this upcoming fall at least, or year, but like there's so many clubs, and if you really look for them, there's going to be so many events as well.
Nice. Thank you so much. And lastly, we have Giovanni. Wow.
Okay, shameless self-promotion. One of the clubs you guys should definitely check out is Men of Color. My favorite event, and still is my favorite event, is the Men of Color Kickoff. It's not happening this year because of COVID, but basically what happens is the first day, it's a huge barbecue. There's a basketball game. There's music playing. Everyone's eating. Everyone's having fun. Everyone's talking. Actually, Osa was in the last basketball tournament for the last cookout. He won. And then the next day we have a party. There's a DJ, and we just have a whole bunch of fun. And it's probably one of my favorite events because, again, it's like probably one of the first club events of the year, and it's just so much fun. And it's like also just you get to meet everyone. So yeah, definitely one of my favorites.
Nice, thank you. And back to Osa.
Yeah, like he just reminded me because I wanted to shout that out. Men of Color, that kickoff is so fun. It was they organized like a little basketball tournament, and me and my team played last fall. I think it was fall. Yeah, it was fall. It was pretty fun. They had food, free food for everyone, music. It was like a whole nice community. And shout out to you for that, Giovanni.
Nice, thank you. I just want to add in acronyms. We're using a lot of acronyms. Acronyms are big everywhere, but they're really big at Brockport. So CSA is the Caribbean Student Association. ALAS is the Association of Latinx. What? Nope, sorry. I tried and I got that wrong. So I will come back to you with ALAS. ASU is the African Student Union. What else did we say? BHG is Brockport Student Government. I realized we're using a lot of acronyms. Yes. OSAD is the Organization of Students of African Descent. I knew that one. I joined OSAD for like 2 days and I was like, oh, they have a lot of meetings. I don't want to go anymore. That was just me. So here we go. We have our last question here, which is, what advice do you have for students who is, advice do you have for a student who is about to start their first semester? So I'm going to three perspectives. As a person from downstate, keep an open mind, it's not the city. People are mostly with good intentions. If they say hi to you, you don't have to wave back, but like, don't give them the stare, and everyone who knows what the stare is. As a student of color, keep an open mind. I would say keep an open mind, but keep an eye out. It's always like, yeah, people are coming to you with good intentions, but don't be naive. That sounds kind of like ominous, but don't be naive. And just as a woman of color, keep an open eye. So keep an open mind, and an open eye, and then keep an open eye. That's all I gotta say. So I'll just go down this way, and we'll go with Giovanni.
Perfect. For people of color, it's definitely a culture shock. Definitely if you're coming from the city, because you don't see as many people who look like you, and when you're used to such a diverse city, wherever you look, you see different people. People look like you. You have a community. Because I remember my freshman year, it was definitely a culture shock. It was definitely a change. But what I do have to say for that is keep an open mind and put yourself out there, because some of your best allies and some of your best friends are not necessarily people of color, and then at the same time you can really see yourself having a home here. And if anything, like all the clubs that we said, and like all the advice we've given out, these are places where you can find a home in the community. So you just got to give it a chance. You just got to put yourself out there. So yeah, and keep an open mind. Definitely keep an open mind.
Thank you. And next we have Javiana.
So just an overall for any student, I would say, like I already said, don't stay in your room, branch out. Like there's so many opportunities that Brockport has to offer, like literally if you just go ask. But for being a student of color, I would say, like everyone else has said, keep an open mind, because like your closest friend could be someone who doesn't look like you, and you also get that perspective, but you also get to not per se educate someone, but what's the word I'm looking for? Expose different people to new cultures, and just expose different people to your reality. And I feel like Brockport definitely allows you that opportunity, and it allows you to make other people better and to make yourself better at the same time.
Awesome. Thank you. Next we have Osa.
Oh, my advice would be definitely what everyone else said was like amazing advice, but mine would just be to embrace change, because it's going to be different from high school, where you're surrounded by people who maybe most often everyone looks like you. Especially being a student of color, it's not going to be like the same thing. You're going to be like around a lot of people with different cultures. and just embrace the change. Keep an open mind is a good one, like everyone said, and I guess that would be my advice.
Thank you. And last but definitely not least, Serenity.
Yeah, so for me, one of the big things that I like to point out when you're first coming into college, I think Javiana said this, don't stay in your room. Because think about it, you're spending so much money to do nothing. You could have did that at home. So make sure you branch out a little bit. And I know everybody's personality is different, but just make sure you're like taking advantage of what's there, like on your campus, especially if you live on campus, and like getting into things that interest you. It may not be what someone else might like, but get into things that interest you. As a student of color, I know a lot of times people worry about like certain issues like discrimination, racism, microaggressions, all those things. But remember that happens everywhere, and it's not isolated just to like our school or our campus and things like that. So just like understanding like it is going to be like a different environment, and understanding like this happens like everywhere, and there are going to be ignorant people and things like that. But you have a good support system to lean on. There's tons of different clubs. There's faculty that you can talk to. So your back, everyone has your back. Well, not everyone, but and also there's a lot of independence. So make sure you try to manage that a little bit, because nobody's gonna wake you up in morning for class. I know they didn't wake me up. Don't miss class. Don't miss your midterms. None of that. And just really enjoy yourself. I think that's basically the only thing. Like, come on in, put a smile on your face, do your best, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Thank you, Serenity. I have a shameless plug. Shameless, I don't care. Get in contact with your RA. You know, being an RA myself, you know, it's so hard when you know that your residents are struggling, you're watching them struggle. I can say this with 3 RAs on the staff right now, I'm pretty sure. You're watching them struggle, but they're not talking to you. No matter if you're a student of color, you're not a student of color, you're struggling and your RA's right there, ready to help you. Their door is right next to yours, and you could just, hello, I need help. But students don't do that. So get in touch with your RA. Especially as a student of color myself, I tried to find a student. Well, personally, I tried to find a woman of color who was an RA, because I just felt like, you know, if in my dire need, if I knew I need to go to someone in a SNAP, I can go to that person. So just me as an RA, I look out for everyone, but I make sure to pay special attention to the women of color in my building, no matter if you're my resident or not. I'm looking out for you. Even if you're not my resident, I'm looking out for you. Just know that I got your back. You know, if you need me, I mostly will be there. I can't say always, because that would be lying, but I will mostly be there. So yeah, look out for your RAs. Definitely use them as a resource. Also, plan time to nap. I've been saying this every session I've been to. Make time in your schedule to do nothing, because that will be the one time that you will really breathe and you will relax. Oh, and we have Giovanni ready to add, and bam.
Just adding for people like to go to if you need help. Definitely RAs are good ones. People on like e-boards, like especially the culture club, will definitely like have like no problem like being there to support you, because that's what we're there for. We're here to make like your time here more relatable, more fun. So if you ever need help or just ever need to reach out, culture club's great, women of color is great, men of color is great, all that, and definitely going to faculty of color, because they can relate to you on a lot of issues, and they'll definitely be there for you.
Next we have Javiana. Sorry. Oh, and
another big thing that I didn't realize until like my sophomore year of college is it's super important to be transparent with your professors, because a lot of these professors are understanding. Like if you're going through something, if you're going to be late with an assignment, if you're like anything, like a lot of these professors are understanding. So as long as you like email them and like let them know, or like I know this helps a lot, coming to their office hours so they know your face and being like, hey, like this is going on, and they will definitely be more understanding if you're paying attention in class, if you're being active in class and participating and coming to their office hours. I mean, I didn't go to every one of my professors' office hours, I will not say that, but like going once in a while, introducing myself and saying like, hey, like this is what's going on. This is why I didn't do this. They're they're very understanding, and just being transparent with them, emailing them, Blackboard messaging them, or just talking to them in class.
Thank you so much. Okay, well, that seems like that's all the questions for today. Thank you everyone for coming. There will be posted. Wow, sorry, I can't English. There will be a post about a feedback survey in the chat for everyone to fill out. Let us know how we did. Let us know how our OLs did. I think we did amazing. But that's just me. So thank you everyone so much for coming. Have a great night. Have a great week. What's today? Monday? Yep. Have a great week. Okay. Goodbye.